Hi guys, I have a coloring video for you today, and today we are going to color this very cute stamp from Little Blue Button Stamp called Catching Snowflake, and this little character is called Eris. Isn't she sweet? Well, we're gonna start with the skin, and I want a kind of a rosy skin as it is a snow scene, so we are going to use E000, let's see, there, E000, E00, E11 and E13 for this. When I do my skin, I usually always go over the whole face and whole parts of the skin with the lightest color. This is to make it a little bit wet, so it's more easy to do your blending. And then I go in with my darkest color, and that today is the E13. So I'm using 4 different colors to color her. And then I just do shadow. I think the sun is coming from that direction, so the shadows is gonna fall on her right side. And also I like to make a little nose for my characters. So I think her nose is gonna be here, and then it's go up like that. Then we're going to blend this out with the E11, and that is just in small circular motions trying to remove that line that we have there and just give her some more shading there. Then we take E00 and continue to blend that out carefully, giving her a little more blends of those colors, because going from the E11 to the E000 would be a little bit too harsh. And then finally I'm gonna blend that last lines out with the E000. And then I'm going to color her hands, because I imagine she don't have gloves even though it's cold outside. And we do the same way, just add some shadows on the bottom and on the right side of her hands. That. Going in with the E11, the E00, and lastly the E000. And that's her skin. Then we're going to do her hair, and as the highlight color I'm going to use E31. And when I do hair I usually just kind of color in where I want my highlight to go to begin with. I don't wet the whole paper with the color, I just do the highlight because I'm going over this 2 to 3 times, so it's much easier to just do your highlights. And the highlights is in E31. I'm also using E35, E39, and as the darkest color it's actually the 59. So start with the darkest color and go where it should be more shadows, in the kind of top of her hair, where the roots should be. Underneath her chin and the tips of her hair. Like that. Then I'm taking the next darkest, which is E39, and just going up. And depending on how high you put your dark colors, the darker the hair is. So if you want her to have a lighter hair, you leave her with a much more light, more of the highlights. Also, right now I'm not being very precise with how I do the streaks. I do some blending and then I just do her hair. Going back with the E39 to just do the tip of her bangs, because they are going to be the 39. Then going back in with the E35. And the E35 from the top. I usually kind of turn around the paper a lot when I color, but I'm gonna try to keep it still for you. So, if you see what I'm doing. And then we are going to do some blending with the highlight pen. And this is the last time I'm using the highlight pen for the hair, because I'm just going to blend that, because now we are going to make the hair look a little more hair-like. So what we're going to do is we're going to do very quick, very light lines, and actually going quite further down on that highlight. And if it's easier for you to do these kind of lines from just one direction, I would recommend kind of flipping the pictures up and down, turning it. I usually do that, but as I said, I want you to have like from one perspective of the picture when I color. And that's the 35. I'm not blending these out, I'm just doing these kind of streaks because I want it to look like hair, and if I would blend it I would lose this effect. So I'm just streaking it out. The shorter the kind of lines you make, the thinner you can make them. If you try to make too long lines, they look much wider, so it's easier to make small lines. And then we're going to finish this off by doing some in the darkest colors, just to give that a little bit more life. And that's her hair. Next color we are going in with is the E40 series, or E43, E44 and E47. Oops. And we are going to color her shoes and the little critter over there. So we start with the E43, which is the lightest, and this time I'm actually coloring the whole booties and laying down a base coat so that we have a wet paper. Then I'm gonna go in with the darkest color, the 47, and I'm putting some shadows on the right side of her booty and underneath that fold. Then I'm gonna blend that out with the 44. This, and then I'm finishing it off with the 43 again. Like that. Oh, I'm gonna move these, see if we can have them on top instead. Now I'm gonna do the little critter over here. Again, we start with the base coat of 43. Then we're going to do the darkest, the 47, And I'm going to do this little tail over here. And the little leg. And then we take the 44 to blend it out. And finish it off with the 43. Like that. Now we're going to color the shirts, and we're going to do that in red. And we're going to start with the R22 as the lightest color, R24 as the next to darkest, R29. We're actually going to do some of the deeper shadows with the R46, but it's not going to be a very, very dark red. It's going to go towards the lighter scale. So to begin with that, we start with her clothes. Then we're going in with the darkest color, and that's going to be again on her right side, on the underneath her arm. Gonna have it underneath and on the right of the buttons, they catch shadow, and a little bit on the right on the buttons. Also some on the left side to make it look like she's a little bit more rounded. Also doing some underneath her arm and just behind that cufflink that she had there. Then we're going in with 29 and we're just blending this out. These colors are quite close to each other, so I just try to go over the whole dark red and a little bit outside of it. And I'm doing a lot more on the right side than I'm doing on the left side. Now also I will go in and do some shading underneath her chin. Then I'm going in with the 24 to do the rest of the shades. And here I go in quite far, so I don't leave that much of a highlight on the clothes itself. And I finished off with 22 and the highlights on the clothes. We're also gonna color her little leg here red, and we don't need to shade that much, so I'm taking half of the leg in 46 and the other half in 29. And then we are going to do the shirt. Of this little critter over here. Again, started with 22, going in with some shadows on with the 46, then over again with the 29, and then again with the 24, and end it with the 22. Like that. And that was the red parts of the clouds. Now we're going to do the little crown she has on her head, and because it's so small I'm only using 2 colors. I'm going to start with the Y08, which is a very bright yellow, and then I'm just going to shade it with some Y17, and then I go back over it with the Y08, and that finishes off the crown. Also going to use the R22 to give her a little mouth. Like that. To give more life to the white parts, I'm actually going to use some CO color, the lightest of the cold grays. And I'm only going to kind of dot it. Just small dots. Where the dots are closer to each other, just where it's going to be darkest, and a bit apart where it's going to be lightest. Like that. I'm going to do some more shading. And this is to make it look like it's kind of cotton or something like that. Also doing small random pieces where it has small. So then I'm going to go with the C2 to ground her, sort of, and I'm going to give her a little line to stand on, and I'm going to do the same thing with the little critter. And I'm taking C0 and kind of blend that out a bit, and giving even more dimension to those sort of shadowy parts. Like that. And that finishes off the coloring of this little Eris Catching Snowflakes. I hope you liked the video. I see you later. Bye!